So your old pool pump stopped working and you don't want to spend $2,000 on a new one? AquaStrong got you covered. Before we can install the new pump, obviously we have to remove the old one. Let me show you how to do it. First, power needs to be turned off. You can actually loosen up the fittings on your old pump. If you have unions like this one where you can unscrew them, and you can move your pump and angle it towards the way you like it so it's easier to work on it. I totally understand that some of you have a different pump than I do that you are going to be removing, but in this particular case I need a nut driver or a Phillips screwdriver. This is a 1/4 inch. There are 4 screws. The top comes off. If you're still uncertain if there's a power going to your wires, you can test it with the voltmeter. One probe will go to the ground, which is the green wire and green nut in this case, and the other probe would go to the hot wire. And I go to the next one, nothing. That tells me there's no voltage. I can continue. With the Phillips screwdriver, I'm going to remove the bolts to get to the wires. Since the wires, as you can tell, they're curved at the end, with the help of little pliers, you may have to make them straight again, all of them. Okay, this one broke off, which is fine. And making those straight will allow us to pull the wires easier through this fitting. Now it's time to pull the wires. Some of you will have to loosen this up first. Mine already came out, so I don't have to do it, but I will do it so you can see it in the video. All right, and now all the wires are out. I'm going to put this cover back on. I need to remove this fitting for our new pump. On the side, all of the pumps should have something called a bond wire. It's a basically thick copper wire. Okay, once this is out, the pump is ready to come out entirely. Just so you know, the AquaStrong pump comes factory wired for 220 to 240 volts. So your electricity needs to be also matching that. For those of you that have 110, 120 volts in their backyard, this particular pump would not work. But AquaStrong has other pumps which are set for lower voltage. Let me show you how you can make sure what voltage you have going to your old pump before you can install AquaStrong 2 horsepower variable speed pump that is set to 220. So here is the way I do it. And no, I'm not an electrician, but that's how things work. You take one probe to the ground wire, which is the green one, and you take the other probe to, let's say, white wire. And I'm getting 120 volts, which means this wire, this white wire, is a hot wire. Now I'm going to do the same thing and put one probe on a green wire and on my black wire, and I'm also getting 120 volts. That tells me that both wires are so-called hot wires and each delivers 110, 120 volts. You see? And when I take my voltmeter and touch it to the black wire and the white wire, 248 volts is what I'm getting, which is perfect for our AquaStrong brand new pump. I don't have any broom with me, but I'm trying to clean this area as much as I can before installing our new pump. Before I bring in here our new pump, I'm going to cut this pipe because I already know that I cannot attach our new pump to those old fittings, and this is probably too low as it is, so I'm just going to cut it right here. What's very unique about this pump, it's a huge entry port and huge discharge. Very nicely made, very large pump lid with see-through plastic. Huge basket to collect trash. I do not typically see such a huge baskets on any residential pool pumps. Easy to install lid, I really like that. The pump comes in the box with this nice cover to protect all the electronics. There's few feet of electric wire attached, very nice, and all your controls for different speeds and programs. This is very nicely made and it feels like quality, to be quite honest. There's nothing cheap about this pump. It feels really nice. Variable speed pumps are now a must in most states. These are very energy efficient and long-lasting pumps, which everyone that has a pool should have in their backyard. For the time being, I'm going to remove this cover because I don't need it. It appears that our pump is sitting too low. I'm going to put back the old paver to bring the pump a little bit higher. Just got to push the paver towards the back where the motor is. This wire provided by AquaStrong with their pump is too short for my needs, and I will have to probably remove it and connect this pump to our old electric conduit. To remove the wire, I'm going to unscrew those 4 screws in each corner. Here it is. And since we are unable to use this part of the pipe as well, I'm going to cut this right here. Gotta clean all the plastic from cutting the pipe. Since the wire that arrived with this pump is too short, I need to remove it. To do it, I'm going to cut this plastic zip tie. This white wire should pull up. Boom, right there. So the white one was there, the black one right next to it. It's also out. To remove the green one, Phillips screwdriver. And now I need to loosen this up with some type of channel locks. And this entire fitting gotta come out as well. And one last thing, those 2 Phillips screws right there, holding down the wire. Voila, and it's coming out. That's all removed. Now we need one of those fittings, which will go right in the back of the pump. Here it is. I managed to install this. Now it's time for hooking up the wires. So all 3 wires got to get pushed in, and they will come out on the other side. You may need some pliers to catch the ends right here. 1, 2, and where's the third one? It's hiding at the bottom. Got it. So all 3 wires are in. Yes, the 90-degree fitting would be better, but that's the fitting that I'm having right here. So I'm going to actually do this, and I'm going to tie this up so I know that my conduit is going nowhere. Okay. What I like to do next, since I'm not dealing with the ground wire right now, which is the green wire, I'm just going to push it to the side so it's out of my way. Black and white wires are the only ones that I'm trying to work on right now. If you have to make them slightly shorter, you can. I need to strip some of the plastic of the white wire, you're going to need some type of a tool like this to strip the wires. I'm going to cut it. Okay, see, nice and clean. This one is slightly long too, so I'm going to cut it and make nice, clean tip. To connect those wires to our pump, we're going to need female connectors. These are also called female disconnects. Slides right over the wire, but not all the way. The wire needs to remain in this neck of this connector. So as you see, my wire is slightly too long, so I'm going to cut it. And maybe that's all I need. Right there. Perfect. Now I need to cramp it. There are different cramping tools out there, but if you don't have any, you can use regular pliers and use this side to cramp your female adapter. It stays on. I like it. Do a gentle pull on it. If it stays on, it stays on. Same thing with the black wire. Just in the neck. If you fail at cramping and this is loose and comes off, you need to use a new piece to install onto the wire. A little pull on it. It feels good. It's going nowhere. With the connectors installed, now I'm going to bend the wire a little bit and slide those female connectors onto those male adapters in the pump. Okay, one is done, and now I need to bend this one also in intelligent way. These two are done, nice and solid. They're going nowhere. The only thing is left is this ground wire. For the ground wire, I like to install either those or those connectors. So let's go for this one. I'm going to cut this wire just a little bit shorter. Slides in but does not come out. Cramping tool. Here's the ground wire screw. It's very short. It's a Phillips head and it's tiny. I may actually have to put it on a screwdriver first. Hot wire, ground wire, all nicely attached. Nothing wiggles, nothing moves. I'm ready to reinstall this top cover, just like that. Before you do the cover, make sure that this rubber gasket is properly installed. Gasket is properly on. Four stainless steel screws. Phillips screwdriver. Make it nice and tight, but not too tight. Last but not least is this bond wire clamp with a flathead screwdriver. You got to unscrew this. It went in. Now I need to make this tight. I'm going to pull this a little bit away from the motor. Bond required for safety. Must bond or voids warranty. So we did just that. It's time for quick connectors that were supplied with the pump. So we have something like this, that, and a very big one. This most likely is 2.5 inches, which my plumbing here is only 2 inches. I'm going to use this fitting therefore. All of the fittings come with nice rubber O-ring. Lubrication of my choice is this. Anything that is pool related for O-rings is the proper lubrication. It goes like this. Okay, hand tight for now. One more for the front. Also needs to be lubricated. Nice. In order to connect this PVC pipe onto our pump, I'm going to need 2-inch coupling. It's a Schedule 40 PVC coupling. I'm also going to need primer and glue. Take primer and clean the pipe with it. Also clean one side of the fitting. Next, I'm using this blue glue, one side of the fitting. Push it on and turn just a little bit while you're pushing it on. I like to hold my fitting for 5-10 seconds just to make sure it does not slide out, and then I can let it go. Now I need to measure the distance between the very inside of this black fitting with the inside of my white fitting, and that's 8.5 inches. 8.5. Cutting relatively flat and straight is the key. Cleaning the plastic filings of each end. First, I'm going to glue this piece of pipe into our pump. I need to clean it with the primer. Now it's time for glue on the inside of the pump. I push it in and twist it just a tiny bit, and I hold it for 5 to 10 seconds so it does not slide out. Once our piece of pipe is glued into this fitting, now I'm going to clean and prime this fitting, this piece of pipe, and glue those two together. I need to slide this in, hold it. Whenever I need to do any plumbing around new equipment, I like to cover things up, so if I have any glue dropping down, I don't get anything dirty. Primer. All right, let's see. That's it. That's how you get it done. Now I just got to make sure that there's no glue running down, which there is, which is quite typical. Small pro tip: since this pipe likes to move, I'm going to make sure first that this pipe is already level. Since I know that this is level, now I can take the measurements. Okay, got to clean all the filings. There's few ways to glue this piece. I'm going to lift this up slightly out of my way and glue this in first. Take this and glue it like that. As you can see, none of the glue or primer came out on this side, which is very important. Since this is nice and dry, Now I put this on in the proper direction, okay? Obviously do not install this upside down because you will be in trouble. So what I'm going to do, probably I can just glue this pipe with the fitting in the proper direction onto here, and I just glue that. Once that dries, then I'm going to put it down on the pump, and let's hope it fits. All the way in. I'm going to hold it with small adjustment. This will fit. Before starting up any brand new pump, we need to fill the pump with a bucket full of water. I need to make my connection tighter. Nice. Fill your pump all the way up with water. Installing the pump lid shouldn't be a wrestling match, but make sure that it's nice and relatively tight. If you do run into a trouble removing this lid later on, as you can notice, there are two notches over here where you could stick maybe a wooden broomstick or any type of a longer object that fits in here for leverage to take this lid off. All right, let's try to turn it on and see if it works. I understand that all of us have slightly different setup. I'm going to turn breakers on. Our brand new pump arrived with instructional manual. I'm going to open it up and see what it says inside. It has really nicely outlined the details about this pump, the moment that everyone was waiting for. You got to do it. I'm going to choose speed 2 and turn it on. My air bleeder is already open. Now I can turn this off. I hope you can see on the screen the second speed is super efficient, only using 252 watts, which is very, very good. Speed number 3. Let's try speed number 4. This pump runs perfectly. As you can tell, there's no air bubbles. It's 99% full of water, which is what you want. No leaks. It's relatively quiet, energy efficient, and very budget friendly to purchase. As you can see, this 2 horsepower pump, it's very strong and produces a lot of flow. In the world of overpriced pool equipment with questionable quality, AquaStrong really shines and delivers powerful flow and filtration with 24 months warranty at a reasonable price. What's not to love? It is approved by Viking Aquatics. I see you on the next one.